Trump's AI initiative, Doom Dark Ages PC specs, and Google Maps changing the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. Many things to go over. This is today's Quickie Leaks. Hey, this is Josh from Mousepad. Welcome to Quickie Leaks, the news segment where the only dirty joke is in the title. So let's get into it. So, from Reuters, the $500 billion AI data center plan that Trump initiated for private sector. Um, so, this week's announcement by President Donald Trump of a massive private sector investment to build more AI data centers casts a spotlight on a relatively small and nimble class of cloud computing firms positioned to play a bigger role in the tech sector. So, from what I gathered from reading all this, is that there's already a couple companies that are trying to get into this. They are different types of data centers that are using NVIDIA chips to create these AI data centers that are different than data centers that are used specifically for web hosting. So, does that mean that Nvidia is going to get a massive boost in sales? Does that mean that privately citizens like me and you, who just want Nvidia cards for our own gaming purposes, are going to have a hard time getting them? I don't know. Is this going to put more emphasis not just in production but also research and development? That's really the question. So far, what I've been able to see is that a lot of people are both excited and some people are a little upset. Some people don't think that the government should be funding into this. Now, this is not necessarily Mousepad's opinion. This is my opinion. I do think if there's something that needs to be handled, we do need to keep up with the technology sectors on an international level. That being AI is already Pandora's box already has been opened. The genie's out of the bottle. Now we have to actually work with what we got and we have to actually jump ahead and make sure that we are, when I say we, I don't just mean the United States. I mean people of civility and people that focus on freedom and transparency should we should be working on researching AI, becoming a superpower of the AI, and making sure that it does not get out of hand to where it might backfire on us. To where it's we don't need to be Icarus flying close to the sun. So progress in AI does not mean that we are proceeding to shoot for the sun. It just means, hey, we do need to stay on top of this. We can't just let somebody else handle this. We also need to be part of this as well. Now, this it rumors that it's going to bring in 100,000 jobs. I don't know if that's true, manufacturing wise, and IT wise. I don't know if 100,000 is accurate, just by what I know about the IT industry. That's a lot of overhead, and considering from what I've seen from this current administration wanting to eliminate a lot of overhead and a lot of bloat, I don't know. Do I think it's a good thing that we're bringing AI chip manufacturing, the new, how do I say this? This is a news story that I've just heard, but there's nothing written about it just yet, that we are putting tariffs on Taiwan's superconductor chip manufacturing in order to bring chip manufacturing back to the US. Okay, that takes a lot of time to build those facilities because anyone who doesn't know how that works, they should look up what a clean room is. A clean room is essentially where they do all the manufacturing and testing for the chips because any particle of dust can kill the superconductors because you're actually in the nitty gritty and any static electricity, it's done. The chip's dead. Hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, dead in the water. They're now just pieces of plastic, no better than putting up fence posts. So that costs a lot of money and a lot of careful construction. We'll say that. Like I said, if you want more research into it, look up what clean rooms are. And yeah, I mean, I think it's sort of a good idea that we are going forward on the OpenAI concept. But this is, it's still really early, and we can predict all day, but in the end, we can't predict the future. We can only hope that this is going to work out. Yeah, but what are you going to do? So, next up, we have some gaming news. Let's jump over here. From Game Rant, uh, Doom: The Dark Ages PC specs revealed. Now, I cannot wait. I'm a big fan of the new Doom series. I still haven't beaten Eternal, but that's because I'm so busy with everything else, and I just picked up Warhammer 40k stuff. I'm just starting painting. Side tangent. But when it comes to Doom, I will purchase this. The fact when they're just like, hey, here's a shield, and I'm like, oh, thank goodness. Thank you, because getting constantly bombarded by enemies was annoying. Like, there's no cover. Like, look, I love the Doom system. I love how you fight. I love how you play. It's a little intense. Sometimes I need to take a second and analyze my environment, and a shield will allow me to do that. I can just put up the shield and be like, okay, what's around me? Cool. They also have the ability to throw your shield, attach saw blades to it. Love it. Fantastic. I have a PS5. Don't Xbox people don't hate me. I used to have Xbox all the time. Um, it is Sorcery Owl's my partner's PlayStation, and she's always been a PlayStation girl, so I figured why not? And a lot of our gaming that you're gonna see with gag order gaming and stuff like that that we do here is either gonna be through my PC or it's gonna be through her PlayStation. Once I have a pretty good income, I'll get an Xbox as well, if that's required for any Xbox exclusives. That being said, side tangent over. Sorry. Um, they've released the specs of what you will need. Dark Ages require a high-end software of an 8-core CPU, a 2060 AMD RX 6600 GPU. Whew, that is a price tag. And 16 gigabytes of RAM. Oh, okay. So any normal or 5-year-old computer, even gaming computer, that unless you're running 64 gigs of RAM early, I don't think you're gonna be able to do that. And that's where I've heard a lot of people online having a little bit of an issue with this, that this was clearly made for the next gen, and there's not a lower gen. When I say gen, I mean generation consoles, but that also affects the type of PCs that can play it. So it kind of put up a paywall that was unintended for PC players. And PC players are going to be very upset. And I've seen them already upset. Now, while some people in the independent news, especially entertainment news, might just go, seethe harder, cope harder. You know, when it comes to PC players, I feel your pain. I do. I don't have an answer for you. You can, I would say, suggest maybe hitting up the people who make Doom. You know, id Software, maybe Bethesda themselves, and see if they can make a lesser grade patch where there's a version of it that is available that you can actually lower the spec requirement. It might not run as beautiful, and I'm going to use that word loosely, because it is hell. But yeah, I don't know. All I can say is I wish you guys the best. I'm not gonna not get it. I'm definitely gonna play it and definitely gonna do it on a playthrough and have my fiance go into a seizure because of how fast it is. But like I said, using the shield will give me a little bit of breathing room, so maybe it'll be a tiny bit slower. What are you gonna do? I mean, I'm looking forward to it, but oh my gosh. Okay, so next up we have kind of an interesting one. This one's gonna get a little bit political, but like I said, in Mousepad we don't get political. We are just simply following what companies do, and companies also have to work with the world that they're involved in. So that being said, President Trump has stated before that he was going to change the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. Now, I don't know how to feel about this. There's like the little devil on my shoulder and the little angel on my shoulder, and the little devil on my shoulder is saying one thing, the little angel on my shoulder is saying another thing. I'm not going to tell you which one's saying what because that would show bias. All I can say is there's a piece of me that's going, the theme song for, well, pretty much a really crude America F yeah theme song, and feeling good about it, and a little bit of I would like to call aggressive patriotism, being like, oh yeah, this is a really cool idea. The other side is me going, why? Because I mean, I would have to do a calculation because first off, the calculation I would do would be what square miles, not even square miles, just length of, like, what is the perimeter that touches from Mexico and the other nations, that touches the Gulf of Mexico, including Cuba, uh, compared to the mileage that is the coast of America that touches the Gulf of Mexico. So, if I want to be fair, then whoever has the most mileage wins. But at the same time, it's just odd. What is funny is that Google Maps is changing it. They didn't have to do that. They're a private company. It's not like the president is holding a piece to their head going, you better do this. Um, though some extreme people might say that is true. That's not happening. Uh, I I can also feel bad for anyone who's, you know, from Mexico or of Mexican descent that might be offended about this. I don't know. This is an interesting one. It's, if anything, it's entertaining. If anything, it's entertaining because it hurts no one. It doesn't. It more is just kind of a troll move by a political party, and that's just weird and kind of cartoonish, if I'm being honest, and a little funny. But yeah. Who knows? Maybe the rest of the world will be like, yeah, sure, great idea. Maybe the rest of the world will just go, that's stupid. We're not doing that. The fact that Google Maps did it kind of already pushes it in a certain direction. We'll have to follow this as it continues on what other major international corporations are going to change their metric based off what the current president says. Yeah, like I said, not going political. Mousepad is not political. This was just so weird, I had to bring it up. But now, while this is mostly a video game and nerd culture site, I was raised on American football. So yeah, we gotta talk about the Super Bowl. It is, from what I've gathered, it is the Chiefs versus the Eagles. It's gonna be on February 9th at 6:30. You can watch it on Fox, from Economic Times. Here's the article. Super Bowl 2025, when, where, how to watch, biggest game of the year. And that's kind of the thing. It's not just the game. You know, it's also the commercials. Brand new commercials that are probably the most influential commercials that happen during a year, at least a fiscal year. And I'm always interested to see those commercials because they are entertainment onto themselves. Like the famous Bud, what was it? Was it Bud Light or Budweiser? I think it was Budweiser that had that famous little dog and the horses commercial about the dog making his way home. That was just great. That was just fantastic, and everyone loved it. So you know, I can't wait. I think it's gonna be fun. Maybe I'll get invited to a Super Bowl party. Maybe I'll just look at all the commercials 2 days afterwards and do a Quickie leaks on it. But, you know, it is what it is. Oh, guys, just remember, it's a crazy world out there. So don't let it drive you crazy as well. This is your Quickie Leaks for the day. My name is Josh from Mousepad. Love yourself, play with others, and keep it classy.